Learn how to emulate the success of former British Prime Minister Winston Churchill and achieve wealth and financial freedom. Few people realize that Churchill's advice and experience can be used to change their lives for the better. Watch this video till the end, as the information you gain could not only transform your life, but also the amount of money in your pocket. Welcome to the main channel on finance. Join our ranks of future millionaires and become one of us by clicking the subscribe button right now. For most people, work is simply a means to an end, providing for their families, having a roof over their heads, and obtaining the various pleasures that make life enjoyable. But for some, work and pleasure are one and the same. This second group of people have found a harmony in life where work is an enjoyable and rewarding experience, and every day is an opportunity to grow and learn. The advice to find your passion before choosing a profession is all well and good, but it can be difficult to determine what that passion is, and once you do, it can be a challenge to turn it into a viable career. Fortunately, the industrious and useful part of the population can discover their calling and join the ranks of the second group. All it takes is determination, focus, and the ability to take risks, and you too can have life and work that are in harmony. It's much better to seek your calling by completely surrendering to a passion. Winston Churchill is the perfect example. He developed a deep love for the English language and reading from an early age, which helped him make his mark as a writer. Other areas were not as easy for him, however. He had to work hard to keep up in other subjects at school, and instead of attending university, he chose to go to a military academy. His writing career did not begin in his early years, but his real passion in life was war. This ultimately led Churchill to the success he achieved in his later career. By pursuing his passion, he found his calling, and you can too. Sir Winston Churchill was a man determined to make a difference. When he wasn't allowed to serve on the front lines in any military conflict, he still found a way to get into the arena of hostilities by becoming a correspondent for a newspaper. His reports revealed the truth of what was happening on the battlefields, and he soon decided to write a book about his findings. As he worked through the book, Churchill realized that he found more joy in writing than he ever did in a military career. Through this discovery, Churchill found his true calling, and it's a reminder for many that you can find your life's work by simply trying something that interests you. Nowadays, countless people have found their true passion just by giving things a go. The conventional wisdom may suggest that a leader needs to be humble, but the charisma of Winston Churchill proves that this is not always the case. Though Churchill was notoriously ambitious from his youth, he also suffered from lifelong bouts of depression and self-deprecation. Despite this, however, he still managed to command the attention of the masses with his natural charisma. This instructive lesson shows us that even those who may not have the most perfect outward appearance can still be effective leaders. This is exemplified today by figures such as Ingvar Kamprad, the billionaire founder of IKEA who flies economy class, or Bill Gates, whose house automatically turns off the lights when no one is there. We can learn from Churchill that sometimes, it is not what you appear to be on the outside, but rather your inner charisma that can make you an effective leader. In 1924, when Churchill lost the parliamentary election, his secretary to the British Prime Minister, Lloyd George, said that Churchill looked so lost that he could hardly speak. However, over time the Grey General developed a visual style of his own, a cocky fat man with a cigar in his fingers. His iconic V for victory symbol stood for triumph, and in public shielded the internally vulnerable politician like armor. We can only imagine the effort it took for him to not show his depression and illness that modern science says is chemically rooted and cannot be cured through psychotherapy. This is a very important lesson from Churchill's life. Everyone has weaknesses or negative character traits, but ultimately those who are able to cope with, or cleverly hide, them have a chance of becoming future millionaires. This message is vital as the internal battle should be the first step towards becoming a wealthy future millionaire. Now I need your support like never before. It's very easy to show it. All you have to do is give this video a thumbs up. It's easy to do, and you will make me so happy. Thank you. When you fall down, make yourself get up. Churchill developed another crucial quality for any leader in politics or business: the ability to fight and rise up after defeat. In 1915, as the First Lord of the Admiralty, he was one of the initiators of the Dardanelles operation, which ended in total failure and tens of thousands of dead and maimed British sailors. Despite this setback, Churchill accepted the post of Minister of War and Minister of Aviation in 1919. He had taught himself to forget defeats as quickly as possible and cover his cynicism with the right words. In 1943, during Churchill's premiership, 3 million people in Bengal starved to death, but Churchill was able to inspire hope and courage to the British people and lead them through the darkest of times. Now I need your support like never before. Please give this video a thumbs up, it's easy to do, and you will make me so happy. Thank you. Madhusri Mukherjee, author of Churchill's Secret War, claims that, at the same time, 170,000 tons of wheat from Australia which could have saved starving India was instead passed to Europe. This begs the question, was the British Prime Minister already thinking about what to feed Europeans after the war ended? And were Churchill's admirers right that he had difficulty getting his priorities right in the situation of 1943? But even if this were the case, it can hardly be an excuse for a man in the Prime Minister's position. Cynical as it may seem, the fact that today only the Hindus themselves remember this episode speaks volumes about Churchill's political cynicism. Recalling Churchill invariably brings to mind not the tragedy of India but rather his reputation for being able to switch between the Conservative and Liberal parties, for trusting his gut, and being selfishly shrewd, qualities which have been essential for success in both business and politics. A quarter of a century after the demise of the former Soviet Union, Churchill's famous intuition is still held in high regard. Winston Churchill was an influential British statesman whose leadership during World War II and beyond shaped the global landscape. He always remained in the public eye, taking only a brief tactical respite during the war. After its end, he delivered the famous Fulton speech, widely considered to be the beginning of the Cold War, and the last time that a British representative would mark the main trend in world history. Soon after, Britain, once an empire, over which the sun never sets, had declined to an ordinary European country. It is no surprise that Churchill was the third son of the 7th Duke of Marlborough, a member of one of the most noble British families. He behaved like a real duke, combining wit, intelligence, and of course, selfishness. After all, what good would a little selfishness do? Churchill's foreign experience often proved to be of great value, resulting in great gains for himself. If you want to become truly wealthy, you need to take a holistic approach to success. Draw inspiration from the experiences of today's billionaires and successful historical figures alike. Create a unique combination of information that will help you out of any situation and lead you to great financial success. Analyze the experiences of Winston Churchill, his journey, his character traits, and the steps and thoughts he took to get to where he was. With this knowledge, you can become a successful and rich individual, especially in these trying times. So, subscribe to the main channel on finance, and get ready to become wealthy.